Joining us now, getting jobs in Virginia, Governor, Virginia, Democrat, Terry McGenius McAuliffe, our nickname for him, Terry McGenius. He's brought millions and millions of jobs in, tens of thousands of jobs in, worth millions and millions of dollars of wages. Governor McAuliffe, great to have you with us.
Thousands of jobs, billions of dollars. Let's get it right, buddy.
Thousands of jobs, billions of dollars. We got it. Now, there's another job. There's another 8,800 jobs you just brought in, but you probably didn't even realize it as you were asleep today before you got up. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission finally approving the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, which you have been an advocate of, and we appreciate that, bucking your party, bucking the left, and going for the jobs, and your leadership has been invaluable to get this done. I just talked to the union leader, Matt Yonka of Virginia's Trade Association. Governor, he said right off the bat, there's going to be 8,800 great paying jobs created November 1st, right off the bat, and then 2,200 sustaining after that, and then how many more because of the manufacturing companies that'll come to Virginia because they have access to energy. Another success.
I've said this from day one. In fact, I know the unions are going down to Southwest and Southside Virginia next week. They are going to do a trade fair. They're ready to go out and start hiring thousands of people at high-paying jobs. Listen, this has all been about economic activity, job creation. You hit the numbers. You're exactly right. Number two, this will allow us. I just got back from Japan yesterday over recruiting 2 manufacturing companies to come to Virginia. John, we would not even be in the game were it not for our cheap energy. And we don't have natural gas surplus today to recruit new businesses to come in. These new pipelines will give us that cheap gas. And let me be clear, this is going to be done in the most environmentally protected way we have ever seen. And if you don't bring it in through this environmentally safe pipeline, then you bring it in by train or truck. And do you think that is good for the environment? Of course not. So I've been out. This is about jobs. It's the right thing to do to move Virginia forward. And it's another tool in my toolbox. We have completed, John, 1,032 economic projects since I've been governor. We just went over $18.5 billion of new projects since I have been governor. That is nearly $6 billion more than any governor in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And we're not slowing down. I'm trying to get to 20, John.
Well, listen, we appreciate the effort you've made, Governor, in bringing jobs to Virginia. I've been a big advocate of the efforts that you've made. Nobody's been a better salesman for Virginia or worked harder than you have, and we appreciate that. And everybody that has a job that didn't have one, because of your efforts, you ought to be commended, so we appreciate that. Now, we got a lot to cover, but let's stay on jobs a minute. Are you going to land the, $10 billion new Google headquarters? What's the deal with that?
You're talking about the Facebook or Amazon?
Amazon, and then
Amazon.
Facebook.
So we just got Facebook last week. We made that announcement in Henrico County. It was a big win for us, $1 billion investment. We beat out a whole bunch of states for it. I was out in California twice. In fact, I was out there the Monday before the announcement, nailing down the final details. Big win for us. It's $750 million in the plant and equipment. $250 million, John, they're investing in building a new solar field so that we will now be 100% renewable at that plant, which you and I have talked about this. Google, Facebook, Amazon, all those companies, they are not coming to a state unless you can give them renewable energy. So that's why we've moved since I've been governor. 17 megawatts, 2,600 megawatts today. We have made great progress on that. The next big one up is Amazon. My belief in my discussions, by the end of the year, John, I think they will get down, I think their plan is to get down to 10 to 15 cities by December 31st. And then from there, by the end of the first quarter of next year, make a decision where they're going to go. It's 50,000 jobs. It's basically going to create a new city. I think we're poised beautifully for it. We've got Virginia Beach in the game. We've got Richmond in the game. We've got Northern Virginia in the game. I think because our cheap gas, I think because of our low taxes, business-friendly, all the things I talk about, I think we're poised. Great workforce, great education system. And I think we're right at the top of the list for Amazon. We should get it.
Okay, Governor, let's get to the campaign. What are you doing right now for Ralph?
Almost 25 events for Ralph. I got back on Saturday. I joined him with Joe Biden. for an event yesterday, Saturday afternoon. On Sunday, I did an event for them. We did an event up at the Redskins game. Thank goodness they won again, 3-2 now. So listen, I've been help funding the coordinated. I've done a lot of events. This is important. We talk about jobs, John. Let me be very clear. If Ed Gillespie is elected governor, you can forget Amazon, you can forget Facebook, you can forget these companies, because I remind you, I vetoed 120 very socially divisive bills: anti-women, anti-LGBT, anti-environment, anti-voting. If Ed is elected governor, let me be clear, he will sign those bills, and you can kiss Amazon goodbye. They are not going to come to a state that defunds Planned Parenthood. As you know, CoStar is in Virginia today, 1,000 jobs for one reason: HB2 bill that was in North Carolina. North Carolina, CoStar said, we're not going there. And I can tell you, if Ed is elected governor, he will sign this horribly socially divisive bills. This administration would be as bad. Remember, Bob McDonald had the transvaginal procedure. He had the trap laws. We cannot go back. I have vetoed those bills. I never lost one veto. But I'm telling you, that's why we need Ralph Northam, because then you defund Planned Parenthood. Ed has already said he would sign it. I can tell you this. I do this for a living every day. Amazon is going to say, we're not going to Virginia, and we are going to forfeit 50,000 jobs. That's why this election is so important. And the other thing I find fascinating, John, I know you're a big fan of President Trump.
Yes.
I mean, Ed won't even bring him into the state. I've never seen a political party where the leader of your party is not allowed to come in and campaign for you. When I ran in 2013, remember, President Obama was now, his unfavorables, he was underwater by 8 points because of the health care rollout. But you know what? He was the president. He was the leader of my party. I said, come on into Virginia, and we campaigned together. I mean, Ed is treating Donald Trump like he's some kind of leper or something.
Well, listen, you're right about that, and the fact that I think Ed Gillespie needs to embrace President Trump and get him to Virginia. And I've not been shy about saying that. So I'm not sure what the strategy. He is our president. It is what it is. There's no downside. You guys have already capitalized everything you possibly can on the whatever anti-Trump sentiment is out there. So it makes no sense not to have him. We've certainly encouraged him to do that. I just want to make one comment, though, about this red herring you put out there. If Ed becomes governor, we're going to get all these social bills. Look, Governor, you know that a lot of these got passed by the House of Delegates and the Senate because they knew you were going to veto them. They knew that. That's why they had no problem passing them. So they go back to their constituents and say, look, I did everything you wanted on the socialist stuff, but they knew you were going to veto it, and they didn't have the votes to override a veto. So those were show votes. There's no way that's going to happen if Ed Gillespie is governor. They're not going to pass them. You know it, and I know it. And you know I'm right.
Let me be very clear. They have all committed. They have done it every year. They want to defund Planned Parenthood. And if you think for 1 second that the House and Senate will not be forced to vote to put up a defund Planned Parenthood bill right out of the box, John, you don't know your Republican Party. They are going to do it, and Ed has publicly said he would sign it. Forget all the other bills. Forget all the other ones for a second, all the crazy, insane bills that they've had. That bill will be put up. You know it as well as I do. All the folks who have been arguing for this, Victoria Kahn and everybody else, it is going to pass the House and Senate. Ed has publicly said, I will sign that legislation. So put everything else aside, John. I would just tell you that one piece of legislation will be crippling to the new Virginia economy that we've worked so hard to build. Ed Gillespie will sign that bill. Ralph Northam will veto that bill. Mark my word. You know your Republican Party better than I do.
Well, Planned Parenthood, yes. I don't think I could argue with that. I think if Ed is governor, the Republican majorities are going to pass what you said, and Ed is committed to sign that. So that on that one, I will grant you that. No question.
Say, John, I'm the guy. I'm negotiating. I've been out to California dozens of times to meet with these companies. I can tell you this. That will be an eliminator for Amazon. Take it to the bank. I'm the guy who does this. I'm the one talking to the leadership. I mean, I just got back meeting with I was just out at Amazon. I was just out at Facebook. I just did a Microsoft meeting. I did a Google meeting. I'm talking to these executives. I know what they want.
Right.
You know what? stay out of people's personal lives. Focus on jobs. As an elected official and your governor, your job to create economic activity. And you know what, John? When you create jobs, you got tax revenue, allows you to invest in education and workforce development. It allows you to bring in more jobs. This isn't, rocket science.
No, look, and I've told my audience the first time we met during the early in the 2013 campaign, I forget where we were. I said to you, why are you running for governor? And you looked at me right now and you said, jobs. And look, you've been very, very consistent with that. That's why we call you Governor McGenius. So, Governor, it's 8:50. We're with Governor Terry McAuliffe, Democrat of Virginia. We think is going to run for president in 2020, but we still got some time for that. Now, Governor, look, I mean, be honest, given all the perceived anti-Trump headwinds that Ed faces, that Ed Gillespie faces, and all the numbers you look at about how many times the Virginia, when the new party comes in, the opposite party wins, etc. Why isn't Ralph Northam way up in the polls? Why is this race tied? Why?
Well, first of all, John, in the off year how tough this is. Generally going from 70+% turnout, we dropped to 40. I got it up to 43. I remind you, the highest. I ended up getting 1,070,000 votes. I'm very proud. I got more votes for governor than any Democrat ever running. We worked hard to do it. I think Ralph is going to surpass that. I think all three statewide are going to win, and I feel very good about the House of Delegates. I'm just baffled by Gillespie. He's treating Trump like he's got a communicable disease. I've just never seen anything like it. As I say, I brought President Obama in at a very tough time, the rollout of the health care. Remember what a mess that was? But I said, you know what? He's the head of my party, and I'm going to bring him in. He's president of the United States. And Ed is like running from Donald Trump. So if I'm a Trump listener out there today saying, well, my nominee for governor won't even bring him into the state, and he runs from us, I see that he's got some kind of disease. I've just never seen it like it. We are unified as a party. I was with Biden. I'll be with Obama and Ralph. We got an event Thursday in Richmond. President Obama is coming back. Vice President Biden was just here. And Eddie Gillespie won't even bring Trump in to do an event for him. It's baffling to me.
Baffling. That's what you said, right? Yeah. Baffling.
Baffling.
Yeah. Well,
you've been in politics a long time, John. Have you ever seen a guy not willing to bring the leader of his party into campaign?
I think they are talking, I believe, or I've said, to the White House political staff in order to see what the schedules are to bring the president in. But I think...
Why should this be so hard?
It really shouldn't be hard.
Goes out to Virginia every weekend to go golfing. I think we could peel off an hour to do an event, maybe.
I think he should come to Southwest Virginia or to Hampton Roads, and I think that is the way that Gillespie wins. I don't think you cannot have the president come in and thread the needle the way he's been trying to do. It just doesn't work. That might have worked over the summer or in April or March. It doesn't work in October. And you can bring anybody else in you want. Until you bring in the president of the United States, you're not going to get the turnout that Gillespie needs in Southwest Virginia to win this election. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind, and hopefully they'll do that. Now, you want President Trump to come in because you think it's going to backfire, but let me tell you something, Governor. Be careful what you wish for. Sometimes it happens.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, I'm just doing this saying that I'm baffled that the Republican nominee for governor is embarrassed on his president, embarrassed by him. The only reason you wouldn't invite him in. We're bringing in all of our show horses. We got a Greek game on. We're running our campaign. Ed is not doing. I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. And then running these ridiculous ads, I got to tell you, I find so offensive. As you know, John, you know Virginia law. Sanctuary cities are not allowed in Virginia. They're against the law. Sanctuary cities
then why do you have them?
Not exist.
Then why do you have them? We
don't have sanctuary cities.
Yes, you do.
It's absolutely. And let me tell you how the law works in Virginia, John. Let's say someone and a detainer is going to be let out of one of our local jails. ICE is informed ahead of time. It is their responsibility to come down. If they don't come down, as you know, you are not allowed. In fact, a sheriff is just fine. You have to release them under Virginia law. You cannot hold them at the state's expense or the county's expense. They have to be released. So the ICE is informed. It is their responsibility to come keep folks up. But this idea that, and first of all, on the ad that they had, the MS-13 gang. I get a kick out of it. These were prisoners. They weren't in Virginia. These were prisoners in an El Salvador jail who were a counter group to MS-13. They fight MS-13. I mean, Ed can't even do that right. You talk about false information.
Doesn't matter what picture. See, you're very worried about that ad, aren't you, Governor? That's keeping you up at night, isn't it?
No, nothing keeps me up at night, John. I got to tell you, when that head hits the pedal, I don't go down for long. When I go down, I have no problems going to sleep. And I feel very good about where we are. John, would you like to make a little wager on the governor's race?
I tell you what, I'll make a wager on the lieutenant governor's race. I'll bet you double or nothing on Vogel.
Wow, I find this fascinating that you are not willing to bet.
Because I want to win. Because I want to win my dinner. I've already won the. You've been trying to win that dinner back for 12 months. I'm not going to do it. You want to win it back.
John, you were getting dinner, don't you?
I'm going to the mansion with Ann and with your wife, and we're gonna. You're trying to win that back. I'm not going to fall for
I
this.
had you there. You were there for the big craft brewery party. Don't have to.
I think
get you away from the kegs.
I think Ed is going to win. I'll say that. I'll predict that. I still think he's going to win, and I think he's going to bring
do a wager with me.
The president.
Ed Gillespie versus Ralph Northam.
Yes, I'll wager dinner.
Okay.
In January.
Okay.
All right, you got it. Okay.
All right.
Then
All right, good.
I'm going to have so many dinners from you. I'm going to have to go on another diet when this thing is done. All you keep doing is losing to me.
You only live once, Jack. Come on.
Do you think your lieutenant governor, did he get too far out on monuments?
You know, I'll be honest with you, John. I don't think right now the monuments is discussion that anybody's voting on. He made what he said he wanted to do. But honestly, I think where people are coming back to are not those issues and the MS-13 things that the ads I keep seeing on TV. This is about who's going to continue on this legacy of record job creation, record investment. People want jobs. Your listeners, what do they want? They want a job, and they want to make sure their kids have a quality job. We did a record investment, largest investment ever in K-12 education. John, you live down in Hampton Roads. When I got elected governor, you had put the port up for sale. The dumbest idea I've ever heard. It had lost money for 7 years. We've now fixed it up. It's now made money for 3 years in a row. Folks in Hampton Roads, we promised you fixed transportation. Everything we promised we have done in Hampton Roads. We've got 64 new lanes going, 564. I mean, we've done all of the interchanges that we promised. People are happy today. Why? Because we delivered. We delivered on everything we ran on for governor, and I think that's what people are going to vote on. And then Ralph is going to have a continuation of those policies.
Well, if
he's got to finish up, he's got to bring the Amazon deal to close. We'll be in good shape. Let's get their Redskins Stadium here in Virginia. We got some exciting things the next couple of years.
Well, look, I know you like him. He's your lieutenant governor. I like him too. He's a real nice guy. But bottom line, Governor Ralph Northam is no Terry McAuliffe. I can tell you that. You've had a great record as governor. You brought so many jobs. Your energy is off the charts. We appreciate what you've done. And at the end of the day, a job is not red and it's not blue. A paycheck, sir, is green. Thanks for being with us. We're out of time.